Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. For a man who's newly installed to lead a party into election victory, John Swinney is in deep trouble. Yesterday, he admitted that the SNP are going to lose lots of seats, and also admitted that he hasn't got a clue of how to deliver independence. It's a man really without any clue at all, isn't it? Why did they choose him? Jobs for the boys, get him a nice little pension, let him run, lose and be replaced and take away all the sins of the past. Or just pave the way, of course, for Sturgeon's return. She's trying to reinvent herself. Look at me, I haven't been arrested and charged for anything. I'm still good. I went down for gender reform, not out of fear. Swinney has no hope at all. He hasn't got a clue what he's doing. He's panic stations and everyone knows it. The sharks are circling and there's blood in the water. Somebody is going to be getting a very nice meal very soon. Probably Labour on the 4th of July. Let's have a look as we plumb the depths of SNP desperation with John Swinney. Here goes. So John Swinney admits the SNP faces heavy losses on July the 4th and he doesn't have a plan for breaking up the UK. He hasn't got a plan for anything. He's been thrust in there, basically dragged out of semi-retirement, thrust to the very head in the hope that him being there will deflect from all the problems of the party, such as ineffective leadership, lack of funds, lack of sponsors, no corporate sponsors. No clear plan. They're trying to deflect from the fact they've screwed up education, health, transport, roads, you name it. There is not one area of Scottish life, if you will, where they haven't interfered and screwed up badly. And that, of course, is why they've got him in. Look, we've got the new man. Look at the new man. Look at him. Nice and shiny. At least the top of his head is. But don't look over there. No, don't look over there. No, look at the new man. That's what they're doing. And of course, the Emperor has got no clothes. That's the problem. The First Minister admitted that this general election will be difficult for his party, and he failed to explain how he would gain Scotland's independence, despite boasting it would happen in 5 years. Well, I don't think so, John, because in 5 years, A, you'll be gone. B, the SNP are likely gone. C, if you think Alba offer any kind of alternative, think again. In 5 years, you'd find probably Alex Salmond will be gone. He'll have retired. Who has got the personality? No one. That's the great thing, isn't it? It's a dying party led by nobodies. Continuity after continuity. Nothing changes. Nothing. And when you've got a history of loss after loss after loss, defeat after defeat after defeat, and then you keep putting the same little clones in time and time again, what on earth do you think is going to happen? John Swinney has already admitted that the SNP face heavy losses at the general election, as he confessed it would be challenging for him and his party. Challenging is the word he's using to say disastrous. In a further blow to his hopes of getting the Skexit vote out, he couldn't even say how he would achieve his goal of breaking up the UK. Well, I'll phone him. Whoever the new... Hello, Sir Keir. Can we have a referendum? No, okay, bye. That's it. That's all he's got. And Keir Starmer will just go, no. And put the phone down. There you go. Wait another 5 years. See if the next government will do it for you. Ain't never gonna happen, John. The First Minister has had a busy evening and morning as he took part in various media appearances as he attempts to kickstart the Nats election campaign. But the polls look bleak for the SNP, with the worst of them predicting single figures for MPs. A huge drop from the 48-1 in 2019, down to single figures, and with the good offices of the Scottish people voting tactically. How about no figures whatsoever? Nil. Nada. Zilch. That'd be nice. All that money they're not getting. Watch as they file for bankruptcy and go into administration. And then, boom, like mist on a summer's morning. They've gone. He's only been in the job a matter of weeks, and he will now need to fight a general election where his party is expected to get thrashed. And he admitted as much in an interview with Kay Burley on Sky News. He said, "I think it will be a challenging election for us, Kay. We've obviously had a tough time as a party, but I've come into party leadership. I've been in for 2.5 weeks, and the party has come together already. Only because it's an entire bloody circle, jerk." He says, "We've got our candidates in place. They're all rubbish. We've got a strong message that Westminster has done a lot of damage to Scotland through austerity. No. If you want to look at the damage of Scotland, buy a mirror." Always got to blame someone else because they never get anything wrong, do they, the SNP? They're practically perfect in every way. And God bless you. It was then put to him that a recent opinion poll had put Labour 10 points ahead of the SNP in Scotland, and he responded, "Well, we've got work to do, and I've got to lead the campaign from the front." But what are you spending, John? You've got no money. Leaflets cost thousands of pounds. Not across the country. Per candidate. We'll spend maybe £2,000 on leaflets. They ain't cheap. You've got £500 to find for deposits. You've got transport costs. You've got office admin costs. You've got so many costs. It's over £1 million to run a general election campaign. £1 million that the SNP don't have, and B, are unlikely to be able to borrow from banks because you're already in the hole and the banks don't see that getting repaid with single figure amount of MSPs or MPs. It's just delicious. I mean, honestly, you're watching a party crumble. Imagine one of those icebergs carving off and falling into the sea to float away, melt and dissipate. And that's what you're watching. That slow crumbling and dissipation of a political party. Because it's always sent the wrong message. Sure, independence, if you like independence, you've got the ideal for independence, whatever. But gender reform, hate crime, the named adult thing, that was bad. Forcing sexuality onto schools. John, 5 years in education. Push, push, push. Sexualising children all the way through. We know why. We know why you do it. You always like me. Showed you the picture the other day. Oh, you always like going to schools, don't you, John? Independence is expected to take centre stage for the SNP at the general election, with support for breaking up the UK still at about 45%, which means 55% don't. The majority by a way. But the party faces competition at the ballot box from the Scottish Greens and Alex Salmond's Alba Party, who are fielding a record number of candidates. Now, both of those, of course, will evaporate some SNP support, pushing them down, and with a very, very strong Labour, you're gonna whittle out an awful lot of SNPs. And the other thing is, strangely, despite the Conservatives in England not doing so well, the Conservatives in Scotland are doing reasonably okay, actually. So hopefully they can pick up a seat or two, and the Lib Dems pick up a seat or two. That's how it's got to be. So in tactical voting, if you're a Labour supporter, you know you're going to get a Labour government, and if in your area voting Tory will get the SNP out, hold your nose and tick the box. Get them out. It's one election. You're still going to have a Labour government. It's one election. Do it. Get the SNP out. Mr Swinney's failure to set out exactly how he would deliver Skexit after boasting it can happen within 5 years will not have wowed any independent supporter that he needs to persuade not to stay at home and vote for him. And in an interview with STV News, he repeatedly was unable to say how this happened. Because he doesn't know. He hasn't got a clue. He's got no mechanism. He's got no plans. He knows all this, if we win the most seats, is all bollocks because it isn't going to happen. So what's he left with? As I say, literally, on Friday morning, phoning up Sir Keir Starmer and going, "Please, can we have a referendum?" And Keir Starmer just going, "Nah." And that's the end of John Swinney. And by lunchtime on the Friday, Rishi will have gone, Swinney will have gone, and there'll be musings in the Labour Party to get rid, of course, of Sir Keir Starmer and replace him with Angela Rayner. Coming up. So there we are. A man deep at the heart of the SNP for 20 odd years, hasn't got a clue what he's doing, doesn't know what to say, doesn't know how he's going to fight the election, and has to admit that the one thing he's stood for all these years, independence, not only is it unachievable, He hasn't even got a clue about how to start to go about achieving it. What a loser. What an absolute loser he truly is. Time for him to pack up his bags and sod off. He should have done it earlier. They dragged him back, and now he's going to suffer the ignominy of an absolute face drubbing come July the 4th. The only consolation, of course, is the massive pension that he's going to get. His reward for years of service, perhaps. Who knows? Anyway, we'll finish there. Thank you very much for watching. Do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment. Please share the video, and I will speak to you later. Bye.